Welcome to a quick overview of the Ranger class in Guild Wars 2. This series is designed to help explain the feel and some of the base level mechanics of Guild Wars 2's classes and their elite specializations to help answer the question, what should I be playing? This is not intended to be an in-depth look at how well the classes are currently performing. This changes relatively frequently, but how the classes feel doesn't, and feel is one of the most important things you can get with the class. Playing something just because it's slightly better in the meta than something you enjoy playing or something you relate with is generally a losing proposition. So hopefully this helps. Guild Wars 2's Ranger class, similar to the in Guild Wars 1, focuses primarily around its animal companion. For this iteration of the Ranger, they can have 2 terrestrial and 2 aquatic pets, each having unique abilities, either by type or by race, and those can be swapped on a short cooldown. For self-armament, the Ranger has access to the following weapons. At close range, you have a greatsword, a slower 2-hand weapon that channels the power of the spirits into its melee attacks. For one-handed melee combat, you have a main-hand sword, a high mobility and evasive option, which can be paired with an offhand axe, a physical damage option that can be thrown, the warhorn for utility, or a torch for condition damage. At range, the Ranger has the ability to use the main-hand axe, which is a throwing axe that can ricochet and volley, or it can run a longbow for physical damage or a short bow for condition damage. Alongside its pets, the Ranger's utility skills allow it to place damaging and debilitating traps, as well as summoning nature spirits. The Ranger also has access to limited amounts of nature magic, which is expanded on by its first elite spec. In Heart of Thorns, the Ranger gained the original healing-focused specialization, the Druid. Over time, the role of this spec has evolved to be more than just a healer, and other classes picked up healing options along the way. The Druid channels the power of the Celestial Avatar, an alternate form empowered by healing allies and damaging enemies. Once enough power has been built up, the Druid can enter the Avatar form, swapping their weapon skills for Avatar spells, and gaining new abilities on its profession glyphs. Normally, as an example, a Glyph of Unity would tether the Druid to nearby enemies, dealing damage to them as the Druid takes damage, while an Avatar form, using the Glyph of Unity, will tether the Druid to its allies, healing them as the Druid heals himself. The Druid's signature weapon, the Staff, is a long-range support weapon, whose auto attack is a beam of light that will heal allies or damage enemies. The Druid's trait line can be used to either enhance the healing aspects of the Celestial Avatar, or to have those skills add conditions to enemies when used instead, allowing the Druid to be a condition damage based class. And finally, with traits, the Druid can be the alacrity provider of the Ranger. In Path of Fire, the Ranger gains the ability to merge with their pet, becoming one through the Soulbeast elite specialization. While merged, the Soulbeast loses access to the traditional companion skills and instead gains new abilities based on the type and genus of the pet it merged with. When unmerged, the Ranger has access to those traditional pet skills. While in merged form, abilities which grant bonuses to the Ranger's pet will now apply directly to the Ranger instead. The utility skills of the Soulbeast, their stances, give the Ranger the ability to temporarily take on the aspect of many different animals. Vulture Stance will give the Ranger's weapon strikes the ability to apply poison, where Moa Stance will grant boons to the user and increase the duration of boons applied to him for the duration. In its trait line, the Soulbeast can gain the ability to share those stances with nearby allies. The signature weapon of the Soulbeast, the main-hand dagger, is a lightning-fast melee weapon that can apply poison, bleeding, and vulnerability, as well as granting its companion, or itself while merged, the ability to inflict additional poison on their attacks. With the End of Dragons, the Ranger learns to tap into the ancient magics of the Camden Forest, unleashing the Untamed specialization into the world. The Untamed focuses on interactions with its companion, gaining the ability to unleash either its pet or itself, giving access to improved pet skills or to improved hammer skills, the signature weapon of the Untamed. While the pet is unleashed, it loses its normal abilities, instead gaining 3 new high damage abilities, which can also destroy projectiles, inflict conditions, and strip boons from those it hit. The Untamed's utility skill line, cantrips, are designed to augment the raw power of the Unleashed's weapon abilities. Those cantrips can either surround enemies with a cage of nature they can't escape, they can create a ring of spores that will knock down affected opponents, or they can cause vulnerability. In Secrets of the Obscure, the Ranger gains access to new weapons in the form of dual-wieldable maces. The Ranger's main hand mace is a melee weapon that combines physical damage with survivability through self-heal, where its offhand mace provides damage and utility skills. Both maces give the Ranger access to stacks of Strength of Nature, which will allow a short-duration steroid in its Force of Nature form, and refresh weapon skills. With Janthier Wilds, the Ranger gains access to a spear. This adaptable weapon turns from a throwing javelin at range to a stabbing spear at close range, having different weapon skills depending on the distance to the target. The spear also allows for stealth attacks as a mechanic, as a follow-up ability. Although each Guild Wars 2 elite specialization came with its own signature weapon that only that specialization could use, with the advent of Weapon Master training in Secrets of the Obscure, this is no longer the case. So long as the corresponding expansion for each weapon is owned, that weapon may be unlocked for use across the account. This allows builds now to use weapons that they wouldn't otherwise have access to in the past. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to this video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the fun things that you have to do for YouTube. And I will catch you in the next video.